We are the Free Bees Tries group.
I am Ryan Brimley.
I'm Cardenas.
I'm Michael Harris.
I'm Caiden Hernandez.
And I'm Anthony Navarro.
Global issue. Our global issue is the declining bee population, which negatively affects our ecosystem. Multiple factors have led to the decrease in the number of honey-producing bee colonies. Loss of habitat and lack of bee-attracting plants have led to bees interrupting students during lunch at the picnic tables at our school. What's the problem? Colony collapse disorder, or CCD, is the unexplained disappearance of worker honeybees. Colony collapse disorder is the result of insecticides, viruses, lack of food, loss of habitat, and parasitic mites.
This chart shows the average number of honey-producing bee colonies in the U.S. As you can see, in 1950, we had over 5.5 million honey-producing bee colonies. But since then, it has had a dramatic decrease to under 2.5 million as of 2007 due to colony collapse disorder.
Hypothesis. Planting a garden with flowers and shrubs that bees will pollinate would provide bees around campus a pollinating ground and attract them away from the picnic tables.
Plan of action. First, we decided on our global topic, the decline of the honeybee population.
Next, we researched the issue with ASU practicum students. Then we thought about how we could help the honeybees.
Later, we talked to Allison Watkins, the AgriLife agent for the Tongarine County.
After that, we planted the flower garden.
Then we used the EduFair as an opportunity to educate other students on the importance of bees.
Last, we compared the number of bee appearances at picnic tables during lunch over 2 10-day periods.
Importance of honeybees. Honeybees are important to the environment because they pollinate plants, bushes, and trees that give us the oxygen we need. More than 70% of edible plant species are pollinated by bees.
Without bees, most of our food will not grow. The volume of available food would decrease. Bees also help plants and trees to reproduce. Our planet needs clean oxygen, and bees help make that happen through pollination. Pollination. Bees are attracted to flowers because of their nectar.
Honeybees drink the nectar and carry it back to the hive, where house bees turn the nectar along with pollen into honey.
Pollination occurs when honeybees transfer pollen from one plant to another to help them reproduce.
Certain plants cannot reproduce without bees or other insects to pollinate them.
This chart shows crops that are bee dependent. Almonds are 100% dependent on honeybees to pollinate them, and apples are 90% dependent on bees. Watermelons, cotton plants, and sunflowers are all highly dependent on honeybees to pollinate them.
One of the good uses of honey is that it's a natural energy booster, and it is also the healthy alternative to sugar. And some honey from certain plants can be used to treat allergies.
Implementation. Our implementation is to make a garden with plants that will attract bees to provide the local bees with nectar to eat. By doing this, we will 1. Help colonies stay alive, 2. Help local farmers, and 3. Help our school by attracting the bees to a safe location where they will not be harmed. These are pictures of our garden and seedlings we planted.
This slide shows the number of bee sightings recorded at the picnic tables during 2 10-day periods. As you can see, before the garden, during the time period of October 8th through 19th, we saw 10 consecutive days of honeybee sightings. Yet after the garden, during the time period of February 4th through 15th, we only saw 1 honeybee.
Before we researched this topic, we knew that bees are important to life on Earth because they pollinate plants that others don't, and that the honeybee population was decreasing. What we wanted to learn was the cause of the bee population decreasing and how we could help them. After a while, we learned that the cause of the honeybee population decreasing was colony collapse disorder, and that we could help them by planting a flower garden.
As a result of our studies, we discovered that the declining honeybee population is an issue throughout the world. Not only did we help solve this by creating a pollinating ground, but we also decreased the number of bee sightings at the picnic tables during lunchtime. Hopefully, our efforts will make a long-term difference in San Angelo and maybe even the world, one honeybee at a time.
Mentors. Mrs. Brimley, Mrs. Cardenas, Mr. and Mrs. Navarro, and Mrs. Harris helped us with our binder and our garden.
And Allison Watkins helped us get the seeds we needed for our garden. These are our resources.
We give a big thanks to Mrs. Cardenas, Mrs. Brimley, Mrs. Harris, Mr. and Mrs. Navarro, along with Allison Watkins and Mr. Hooks. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Do you have any questions?